2-1-02 eligibility to office to coincide with Montana state law. Be it enacted by the Fromberg Town Council, Fromberg Code Section 2-1-02 eligibility to office is hereby amended as follows. 2-1-02 general qualifications for municipal office. No person is eligible for any municipal office, elective or appointive, who is not a citizen of the United States and who has not met the qualifications prescribed by law or by ordinance adopted by the town. This refers to the previous ordinance 261, which was adopted in 2015, and MCA 7-4-4104. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect 30 days from and after passage and approval on second reading.
Any discussion?
Make a motion to accept ordinance 503.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have an ordinance, or a motion and a second to approve and accept ordinance number 503, 2-1-02, general qualifications on second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so we are looking at public comment for anything that's not on the agenda.
I see that we have a letter from Terry Feller.
Yeah, that's just, he just wanted you for information, he's not here tonight, and it was way past the time to put it on the agenda. And so, okay,
Are you gonna read that?
I'll use your copy because mine's buried. Honorable Mayor and City Council of Fromberg, in regards to August 5th, 2019 City Council meeting in which the certified alley adjacent to James Perkins' property was discussed, I have noticed that no action has been taken regarding the allegations and evidence presented. There has been ample time to address the issues at hand. If the city fails to take action to recover the property wrongfully taken from the city, I will pursue this in civil court. Please provide a response in writing detailing the intended actions. The response is requested in 3 to 5 business days and can be mailed to his address. Sincerely, Terry Feller.
Is this something that we want to open up for discussion?
We can. I would just like to say that I have read the minutes of the past meetings in 2011, also the one in 2017, and the 2011 meetings, minutes stated in the minutes that they vacated that proposed alley. And they granted Mr. Perkins the deed for the west 10 feet of the alley. Then in 2017, they granted him the other half of that alley to the east. So I'm not really sure. I know that Terry has a plat that was filed in 1890, saying that that alley was a designated alley. So, and I have looked up several things. I haven't found anything yet that contradicts that, so we'll have to just go from there. And as far as any action or resolution taken to Mr. Feller's comments, we've been working hard on a lot of other things, so we haven't really had a lot of time to focus on Mr. Perkins's alley. My comment to Mr. Feller was, what is the motive here? This alley, proposed alley, or whatever it was, this whole action was started way back in 2011, and I'll get right with you, Keith. And I guess there's gotta be a motive, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'm not gonna voice it at this point. So is there any other discussion? Keith?
Speaking for Terry, the motive is the principle of the thing, for one.
Well, I
Okay.
got a
For
phone,
another
I got a
thing-
phone call saying that, there was a monetary value involved in that.
Not by Terry. Has to be with the owner of the trailer park, if that's the
Right,
case.
that's true, Ms.
Okay.
McLean, yeah.
Now, my question for all this, did you notify those two trailers behind me that they have to take their trash to the street?
No, because,
Because
The
Vern will not go down his alley,
well,
as
you
you
know,
call it.
that, I have not yet to talk to Julie, I had a call into her from Republican Services.
Well, I've already talked to Vern.
The,
He's not allowed. By his company's rules.
well,
He's
that's not
allowed.
completely true, because Republic Services go on private property every single day and every one of their runs. They go on the private properties where they go down the highway, they go on private property up here.
I'm just repeating what I was told
I know.
by Vern.
I know, but I will talk to
Right,
Julia, Julia Jones on, tomorrow morning. I'm gonna call her back and see if I can get a response and get this cleared up, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that they can go on my daughter and her husband's property and go right on their property, which is private property, without any grant, without an easement or anything else signed. That they do that all over, and they can't go on that property because it's private.
I don't know. You have to talk to them. I'm just telling you what I was told.
I know, I've
By
heard
the
that
driver of
too.
the truck that picks up the trash.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So.
So
I'm
I
just
will
speaking
talk
for
to
my-
Julia.
I'm just speaking for Terry, my cousin, so. Cause he can't be here today because he had to work.
And
Hope, have you read this letter?
Yes,
Is that anything that we have to respond to?
I don't know exactly what he wants.
Yeah. Should we respond to it in a letter that asks what he wants?
It's up to the council.
I think we need to address it, and if you can write a letter and address it for whatever legal standpoint which protects the city the most.
That's what he's asking for.
Well, I guess that my biggest concern is, and question, probably the biggest question, not so much concern, but the question is, this happened back in 2011. Why wait? Why now? See, that really kind of bothers me, because things that happened years ago, everybody was quiet about it for years and years and years, and all of a sudden, it's a big deal. Dottie?
My understanding is it wasn't brought to anyone's attention until one of the children from one of the mobile homes that lived off that road.
Yep.
Was playing out there, I think with her dog or something, and Mrs. Perkins came out and told her she needed to get off her private property. And that's when it was brought to the attention that, because I sat here in that last meeting where they gave him the rest of it, which my understanding when they talked about it was what was behind him, not beside him.
Well, that was my understanding too.
So right there, they gave him something they didn't say they were giving it.
So is the reason Vern's not picking the garbage up, is it because Perkins won't let him on that land, or what is it?
No,
No.
Vern said to
Mr.
me,
Perkins said he could come
that-
down there anytime he wanted.
that's private property, so he cannot go on that private property, and to let those two people, the one directly behind me and the one catty-corner behind me, they have to take their trash cans to the street. That's-
And they've never had to do that.
Well,
I
that's
know,
because
they
Vern
never
didn't
had
know it
to.
was private
They
property.
never had to. But
But
Mr.
there lies,
Perkins
there
won't
lies
let
the
'em come
rub.
in there.
Is it private property? They've been going down that driveway for years.
Until,
And they go on everybody else's private property. I know, because my daughter.
Okay, but that private property he's not going on that private property to pick up Mr. Perkins's garbage. He's
He
going
is.
on that private
He's
property
going
to
on
pick
that
up on the
private
other.
property to get the two houses adjacent to Mr. Perkins on the corner of that property. And he also picks up Mr. Perkins's garbage while he's there, because he puts it by his trash, or by his garage back there.
I don't know that, that was my.
Tammy,
that
you
was
had
my
a comment
understanding.
earlier, I'm sorry, I didn't call on you.
My question is, I know they're saying it's abandoned, but was there a resolution to make it abandoned, number one? Because you guys are walking down a slippery slope when you start abandoning roads and streets. And I know this because I own property where they've abandoned a county road in New Mexico. And it's a huge deal, because the neighbors next to me planned on taking his 50 acres and his house